Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Facebook Live, which is not actually live right now because it's Zoom and it's Facebook Live during COVID-19. And I think we're just having technical difficulties, but we're really happy you guys are here. And I'm really excited just to share some advice. And I've got some of my best friends in the wedding industry with me tonight. And actually, I didn't put this together. I'm excited that they asked me to be a part of this. My name is Ashley Hawks. I run Forever Bride. We are a social wedding platform. We have a website, foreverbride.com. We have a blog and a podcast, and basically we're a resource for couples and local wedding businesses. And so I have a couple of my friends here with me today. We put this together. We've been spending days putting this together of just being a resource and some hope for you guys right now, because there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of questions that we have. So you guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So before we dive in, and we're actually accepting some questions right now through our Facebook groups. We have the Soda Brides Facebook group. We have the Forever Bride Facebook group. We have the Twin Cities Wedding and Event Professionals, as well as everybody's personal and business pages. So we're taking in questions. I've got my cell phone here. I lost my cell phone. See, we're off to a great start, you guys. But why don't we go through? So Ari, this was kind of your brainchild. This was your idea. You have such a heart for the wedding industry. Why don't you jump on and just introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about Complete, and tell us kind of what prompted you to start this Facebook Live, not live thing tonight.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. First of all, for my vendors that jumped in, thank you for being a part of this. At Complete Weddings and Events, I am head of sales. So my job is to take care of all of my brides. And from the very beginning to the very end, from assigning staff and really digging in deep with them. So I get to hear their vision, and I get to hear what they want their wedding to be like. And this beautiful spring wedding with all my friends and my family and fall color or spring colors, everything is just so brought to life. And then I get to see it happen, and then I get to give them their photos. And lately, I've lost a piece of that. When I'm doing phone calls with brides, it has been a lot of crying, and oh my God, I'm going to cry. It started last Monday with just brides that were really sad and really devastated, and things that we have worked so hard for are just gone. And my biggest thing was they were getting on Facebook, and I'm seeing these posts of what do I do and who canceled their wedding and who postponed, and it started to trickle, and then there's another, update, and there's more panic. And so how can I help and how can I give back? So I invited all of these vendors here. Jenna Culley works very closely with me in the wedding planning industry. Just make sure our brides are taken care of. And she has a lot of words of wisdom. And Michelle has experienced things like this similar. This isn't the first time the wedding industry has seen something like this. Mm-hmm. And so we really wanted to let brides know you are not alone, and we will get through this together. You are not the only ones that are hurting, and we are hurting with you. Really just kind of giving you guys our words of wisdom and advice on what to do. And so we invited a little bit of everybody, from coordination to planning to bride pages that pull everybody together. The Minnesota Brides page is such a huge attribute to brides that are just looking for information. So pulling it all together, all the way down to the venue, which is your first stop when looking at, what's going on right now, is what is my venue saying? So I hope that this gives a lot of resource. If you have questions, we'll be doing questions afterwards, and you guys can always email in for help. But thank you for coming and taking the time out of the night to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Jenna, since she mentioned you, Jenna, why don't you jump on board? And Jenna, you were actually the one that I would say put so much work into these thoughtful questions. And Jenna, you are a wedding planner. I'll let you explain a little bit more about yourself and your business. But you really have a pulse on what's going on right now with our brides. So Jenna, please tell us a little bit about you.
Yes. So Jenna Culley with Jenna Culley Events. And I have been in the events industry for about 12 years now, and have had my own business for 8 years. And I just I'm involved in a lot of different wedding planner groups as well, and I'm seeing what's happening on those sites and what's happening all over the country with brides. And then here, I'm also helping my own brides that are postponing. And just like Ari said, I'm with them from day one a lot of times. We've been planning for months and years. And then here it is, the time for their wedding, and boom. And I personally, I mentioned this earlier on our little teaser, but I personally was a spring bride as well. And so this would have been the time frame when I was getting married that I would have been doing all of those finishing touches and getting in those final RSVPs and whatnot. And then boom, and Ashley mentioned this before the call, but there's not even anybody to get mad at. Like, it's true, it's like, I just literally, it's just what it is. And part of what I wanted to, why I wanted to be a part of this tonight was to give brides a space to say, it's okay to be sad. Yeah, there's a lot of sad things going on in the world, but this was still one of the most important days of your life. And it's okay to be sad about it. It's okay. It's okay to be frustrated about that. The other reason that I really wanted to do this tonight was to be a resource for those brides that are having to postpone and make new plans and all of that. Want to be a resource for them, but we're also getting a ton of questions from brides that are later in 2020 and even 2021 brides that are like, how is this going to affect my day? All these brides are postponing now. What does that mean for the wedding industry in general? For what we're gonna, how we're gonna be able to function. So, so I just thought I was excited when Ari asked me to be a part of this. I'm happy to be a resource for brides out there, and I'm excited by the other panelists that we have here that are going to offer expert advice.
Yes. The next person and thank you so much, Jenna. You have such a huge heart. I met Jenna. Jenna and I have known each other, and Ari as well. Actually, all you girls and I go way back. Jenna and I started in the wedding industry around the same time. And I was watching the styled shoot that we did together back in 2013 the other day. We were working on some project here at the office, and I was using it as an example. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we were babies.
We were.
Girl, we haven't aged a day, I have to say. I have to say. But the next person I want to introduce is Michelle. And Michelle not only is an incredible photographer here in the Twin Cities, but Michelle, I have to give just so much credit for. Michelle is one of the founders of Twin Cities Wedding and Event Professionals, a networking group that has been around how many years now?
Oh my goodness, we're coming on 11 years in April.
11 years. Yeah, that's right, because we had our 10-year anniversary party last year.
Right? Yeah,
and
actually
fun.
We have our awards gala and everything too is in April, so we're also looking at postponing.
Yeah, you guys throw good parties, by the way. You guys throw good parties. I am ready to come out of quarantine and celebrate again. Yeah, but I wanted to thank you. When we started building Forever Bride, and I was this baby brand new business owner and just kind of learning the ropes, you and Matt Sherry, who's with Complete, and Elizabeth Sherry, you guys welcomed me in like I was part of the family, even though I was still wet behind the ears. And I will still remember that to this day, that you guys were so kind and so generous. And just to really help build me personally in my business. So thank you so much. So if there's any wedding businesses that are watching this and you guys are in the Twin Cities, I'm going to be putting links on our Forever Bride page of everything that we talked about and places that I think you guys should go and check out. And definitely Twin Cities Wedding and Event Professionals. It's a monthly networking group. Sorry, I'm taking your thing.
No, you're doing great.
but I'm very grateful for what you guys have built and the community that you've built. So I'll let you tell us a little bit more about you and your photography, Delight Photography.
Oh, thank you. No, yep. Delight Photography started that in 2002. So I'm going to sound really age myself here, but about 18 years.
Girl, you haven't aged a day either.
Oh, thank you. I love
in the wedding industry. We don't age.
No, we don't. We just get smarter. It's all good. And I love the events are always, it's just still, even 18 years later, watching how each event is unique to that bride and what they want to do for their day. I mean, it's an amazing industry to be a part of. And I'm really, really thankful just to be in that and to witness that with these couples. Twin Cities Wedding and Event Professionals, it's tcwep.com. It's for local vendors. We come and support each other. But what my story with them, and probably just a little bit to help, is as far as knowing back in 2009, there was a recession going on. And that is actually what started this group coming together. Because at that time, the recession was hitting. Everybody was, there was a lot of cancellations. A lot of businesses were struggling. People were losing their homes. So I come from that just to tell you that this group is still going strong. There are event industry professionals that are supporting each other. And we just see this again as that we can come in and support. And we want to help these wedding couples as they're coming and going through an experience and just assure them, assure you that we have a strong community of wedding and event professionals here in the Twin Cities wanting to help as best we can. And we're connected and we will be able to provide resources. So not to worry, we're here for you.
Thank you. Thank you. And Susan is another one of my friends that I met through you, Michelle, through Twin Cities Wedding and Event Professionals. So Susan, real quickly, because I want to dive into some of this stuff. Tell us a little bit about you and your two brands, actually.
Yes. So I'm Susan Lee Wright with Perfect Day Ceremonies and Affordable I-Dos. Affordable I-Dos was my original concept. We are a team of wedding officiants. So think pastor or minister or justice of the peace. We do it all. We are all ordained ministers, and we do interfaith weddings, weddings for all types of people. We have a variety. I have 8 people on my team. We have a variety of services, including some bilingual services with Spanish speaking officiants. So Perfect Day Ceremonies came along a few years after. I've been doing this since 2005. So about 2007, it got so big. Who would have thought? I thought it would be a fun part-time thing to do. But it got so big that I needed to actually step it up a little bit and increase my team and start to bring them more into the focus of affordable I-Dos. So I created Perfect Day Wedding Ceremonies as the LLC and the umbrella company that would host affordable I-Dos. I do officiate under the Perfect Day Ceremonies brand, but a lot of our weddings, and we do about 150 a year for the last 15 years. A lot of the weddings are done by my associates, but I have my hands on all of them. I'm very passionate about creating a unique and beautiful ceremony and making sure that everything goes perfectly smoothly. So yes, we're in a time of extreme crisis. We're all in this together. Mm-hmm. I've got tearful brides every day who are wondering how they're going to get this done. And there are some specific technical topics we'll get to as well about that I know you're going to want to know about. And I've got some answers for you there too, or at least some ideas.
I think
that's neat.
I think we have the perfect team for this, you guys. I want to get to a lot of things. I have a whole list of questions that I want to get to. And if we don't get to all of them tonight, we will do this again. But if it's okay with you guys, I want to jump right in. There's kind of 3 sections that we want to hit tonight. I feel like there's, again, this is a very uncertain time. I think one of the most frustrating things is we don't actually know when life is going to go back to normal. It could be a couple days, it could be a couple months. And so when it comes to planning and rescheduling and postponing, there are so many things that are up in the air. And I want to do a little like PSA for you guys tonight, is that we do not have all the exact answers. This is not your 100%, this is what you should do. These are our opinions, these are our ideas, these are things that we have learned over the years of going through things similar, maybe not as extreme, but we've gone through hard times before. So what we've done is we're gonna take things in sections. Right now, I wanna address the brides that have weddings going on right now. There are girls that have weddings coming up in the next couple days, the next couple weeks, the next couple months. And so I want to jump right into that. My first question for you guys is postponing. People have to postpone. It is against the law right now to have an event with a group of people. So there are thousands of brides, maybe hundreds of thousands of brides across the country that are being forced to postpone. What is the first thing that they need to be thinking of or doing right now?
Yeah, I can talk about this a little bit. I think the first thing you need to be doing is talking with your venue, and we might bring Brenda in on this too. But your venue is the first place to go, or your planner if you have a planner, right? Planner and venue, same thing. I would be talking to your venue about what the options are in the future, what dates they have available, what their policies are right now. What some of them have bigger corporations that are making decisions. Some of them are small and local. So based on what they know from their higher up offices, what are they able to do? When are you able to start booking those weddings, and how far out do you need to postpone? So definitely speaking with your venue first. And Brenda, maybe you want to.
I'm sorry, is Brenda still in here? She's not on my feed.
Yeah.
Brenda, there you are. Sweetie, I'm so sorry. So Brenda, now you are the sales and catering director of American Swedish Institute, correct?
Yes. So I'm with the Slate & Stone Catering and the American Swedish Institute, director of catering. And I've been doing this sales and events and venue sales for like 14 years, so a long time. And essentially, the big thing is, everybody just, be calm and patient with all of your venue salespeople and catering salespeople right now. For those of you who don't know, many of those are people who are furloughed briefly, or their positions have been slashed and cut, and so they might not be in the office. They might be either working remote, or they might be working like 2 days a week, 4 hours on each of those 2 days. So, things are going to be a little delayed. And the big thing to know, though, is that your venue salespeople and your catering salespeople really do want to keep your business, and they do want to keep you happy and keep moving forward, be it helping you postpone, helping you figure out what the next steps are if you're on the cusp and you're not sure if you'll have to postpone. Mm-hmm. But just be patient with them, because they are, in a lot of cases, really limited in what they can do right now. So that's the big thing I just want to say is, give them a little bit of time, mm-hmm. and they will do what they can to make sure that you are in a good spot for your wedding.
I would say all the people in the wedding industry, we're not in the wedding industry because we don't love weddings. Everybody that's in this industry absolutely loves what they do. And I want to make sure that you brides listening understand this. These people love what they do, and they are here for you. They're as emotional as you are right now. We are as emotional as you are. And so, yeah, we may have kids. How many of you guys have kids and we're trying to homeschool? Do you guys have the curriculums? Yeah. It's like a 7.5 hour curriculum that I'm supposed to perform while putting in 9 hours a day. Do you guys are in the same boat? Screen time is
I'll drink to that
right now.
Yeah.
It's like business or learning alphabet. It's hard. So my next question is, so there's a lot of postponing happening. What do brides need to be talking to their vendors about? Because there's going to be a lot of crossover in dates when they're looking at postponing, because a lot of other brides, let's say we have a bride who, has an April wedding and she's looking to postpone to June. June is one of the biggest months. And so now we're having a lot of crossover. How are you vendors dealing with this when brides are looking to postpone and you already have dates booked?
I'll take this one. So for starters, if you start with your venue and your venue gives you a list of 2 or 3 dates, checking in with your independent contractors first. So if you have a photographer that owns their own business, if you have a DJ that owns their own business, those people are going to have less availability in the upcoming months because they do book out. They're only one person. Mm-hmm. And so really like venue first, then them. I've been giving this tip and trick to a lot of my clients. Create an email list of all of your vendors. So like if you have all of their emails, all 16 of them in one list, send that mass email at one time. Don't try to contact all of them. This is the best time to have a coordinator involved or a wedding planner. If you haven't thought about it yet, it's something you may want to consider. Take a little bit of the stress off of you. They're going to be able to hook you up with not only connecting with vendors, but coordinating some of this behind the scenes. As well as there's some other things that you may not have looked into yet, wedding insurance, or, you know, how can they help protect you and get you off on the right foot at this point. So really those independent contractors have to come next. If you're going with a bigger company like Complete Weddings and Events, where we have multiple staff members underneath each category, it's a little bit easier for us to move you to another date, but please be flexible with them as well of like, if your DJ is not available on that date, but I can get you another DJ who is maybe trained in by that person, being very flexible. Like, we are doing our best to accommodate any new date, any new change. A lot of these vendors are waiving any postponement fees. We're working around the clock. You are our number one priority.
That leads me to my next question, Ari, and maybe you can answer this. So there's a lot of question in companies like yours where they had fallen in love with a specific person to do their photography or be their DJ, and that person isn't available, but they have an associate or they have somebody else on the team. How do you work with your brides to say, hey, this person isn't the ideal or the person you had originally chosen, but I mean, what is kind of the process of that?
Yeah. Companies like Complete, it's a little bit different because usually when they give me their request, they're giving me multiple people. They're giving me 2 or 3 so I can help that way. Now, if you are an independent contractor like Michelle, and I used to be an independent contractor. Prior to joining Complete Weddings and Events, I did own my own photography business. And what I did is I had photographers that would second shoot with me that I felt very comfortable, and then I would do the editing on that so that it did keep my brand and my name and you still get my style. I trust them and I know that they'll work very well with you. So you don't necessarily have to cancel with the person that you're with. That was a question that I've seen around, like, if I'm changing my wedding date, should I keep the same vendors? I definitely think that if you trusted them to begin with, continue to have trust in them. They are not going to steer you wrong. You literally have a piece of their heart and they are doing everything. I just got chills just thinking about it. So,
well, and I'd like to add to that too, in that if somebody is not available, they are going to book the next best person that they possibly can. I've seen a lot of on planner pages and on vendor pages information where people are saying, okay, I'm not booked this date. Do people recommend getting an associate, or even some people are sharing with other companies? So if they're an independent contractor and they're good friends or have worked alongside another independent contractor who's not booked that date, each of them are taking a hit and helping each other out, a financial hit, by that new person taking over. And the vendor you book with is not going to put their business name on the line with somebody who is not fantastic. Right. And things like Twin Cities Wedding and Event Professionals, which is one of the reasons we have Michelle on here, is how we are connected. It's how we know who to go to in these situations. And even though people are independent contractors, we're really part of a bigger network here in the Twin Cities. Minnesota is its own little, country in a way.
We are. We are our own little island, you guys.
Right.
Did you know that the Twin Cities wedding industry is actually one of the healthiest and most well-connected wedding industries in the country? Did you know that?
Thanks, Michelle.
I know. So yeah, thanks, Michelle.
Yeah, no, it's awesome because these people are connected. The people that are wanting to be a part of this group, they're vesting into their business, but we're making relationships. And so somebody that would think, oh, that's your competition. It's like, actually, no, it's good to know our competition because we help each other. We support each other. Yes. When you're just me, Delight Photography, one photographer, I have a whole slew back behind me that I can call on that I know I've seen their business with. We've done styled shoots together. We've done different things together. I trust them. So having that community in the event industry that's the force that's going to help through this time.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. And I think that's important for brides to understand too. In other industries, you think of, going to buy a car or buying furniture, the real estate, and no disrespect to any of those, but I think there's something really unique about the wedding industry. We, honest to God, care so much about our couples that we're okay losing the sale, so to speak. in order to make sure that that couple gets fitted with the right person who's going to help make that dream come to life. I mean, so so some background on me, besides Forever Bride, I grew up in a bridal shop. And I sold wedding dresses for over 10 years. And I had absolutely no problem. I worked for hours with someone and we couldn't find a dress for them. I had no problem sending them to another bridal shop and actually the wedding shop is, years ago was our biggest competitor. I was friends with the girls that worked there and I'd be able to call them and say, hey, you know, I've got this girl, her wedding date is in June. She's looking for this specific style. Do you have any, you know, what do you have in stock right now? I think brides need to know that we, honest to God, have their best interests at heart and to be able to trust us as the professionals, not only in what we do, but that we're very well connected in our communities. You know, I'm going to jump to a really awkward, uncomfortable question because as structured as our community is, Minnesotans don't like to talk about money. But there's this big question about these non-refundable deposits. Talk to me about non-refundable deposits because it's in the term, they're non-refundable. Tell me about what brides can expect as they're postponing and rescheduling or even canceling and choosing to do courthouse weddings. What's happening to those deposits right now?
Okay, I'll take it because nobody else spoke up.
I'm going to have like a dice. I'm going to roll a dice and if your number comes up.
You get to talk about it. No, you know, I think one thing that it's just the honest truth. A lot of businesses, most businesses in the wedding industry are small businesses, and part of when we are booking with brides that aren't in the wedding industry in general, there can be engagements can not follow through and people can change their mind on things. And there's just that unknown when people are planning the biggest day of their life. Right. Mm-hmm. And so to protect our small businesses, it's just an industry-wide thing that we have these non-refundable deposits. Now, it's not normal for COVID-19 to be causing us to not be able to do our weddings. Mm-hmm. So in this case, I think vendors are doing everything they can to work with couples to either postpone their wedding, right? Or give them some sort of a service for that non-refundable deposit. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
And it may not be the original service that you wanted, right? If you decide to do a courthouse wedding or a really small wedding and you have a photographer that you put a big deposit down, they may be able to come and shoot your little ceremony if they're able, or maybe they'll be able to do something where they're coming and doing a big photo shoot this summer with your whole bridal party. I'm hearing about people getting really creative with their services. Live musicians, live streaming the music for the mini ceremony and just different things. So even though it seems unfair to brides about these non-refundable deposits, all of us wedding vendors, if we could, without losing our businesses, we would give them back. We would do everything we could to just make everything, whole again. But the truth of the matter is a lot of people just can't. And so we're trying to do things in place of that to make that right.
And I'm going to back you on this. I think it's really important for people to understand a non-refundable deposit. It's as hard as it is, and a lot of businesses are doing everything they can to make things as easy through the next month. For example, Forever Bride, we don't work directly with the brides. We work with the wedding businesses. We turned off our billing completely. For us being a digital company, it just doesn't seem right to charge anybody anything right now. And we're happy to maintain the social media and the blogs. And again, we're lucky enough that we can keep moving forward because it's not a physical, tangible thing. But these non-refundable deposits, it is tough. And that's why you put the deposit down. And you're right, there are other services that can be applied, and there are other things that you guys can help in other ways down the road. I want to know, because we've featured a couple weddings on our blog, and if you guys want to check these out, we just featured a really great blog the other day of someone who got married on Friday. They were supposed to have this huge, beautiful wedding, and Bavaria Downs. And it was a 250-person wedding on a Friday evening. And obviously they had to completely cancel. They're postponing their reception until November. So they're continuing. Bavaria Downs as being really easy to work with. And they're going to have the reception in November. But they wanted to get married. They wanted that wedding day. They wanted that anniversary date. And so they contacted all their close vendors, their officiant, their photographer, and they decided to do a small ceremony in the park with just their parents. And I think they had, what are we at right now? It keeps going down from like 250 to 100 to 10 to like stay in your house.
10 or
guys,
less.
everything is changing. So whatever we say right now, please take it with a grain of salt. We are not Fox News. We are not CNN. Please, this is just our opinion, and we're here to help. And in fact, we published this blog. Did you guys check out this blog we published the other day of the wedding on Friday?
Didn't see it.
I got some of the nastiest comments from this thing, you guys. We're here to celebrate love, and we're here to be a support system, and you know, everybody's going to treat this this quarantine a little bit different, and a bride and groom choosing to do a ceremony in the park with their parents and an officiant. That's their choice. I according to the article, they did the 6 feet apart, other than the kissing and the officiating. But let's all give each other a little grace. How about? Can we just put that out there right now?
Yeah.
But it was a really beautiful wedding.
Can I weigh in on that too, Ashley,
Yes,
as an
please.
officiant? So I'm getting a lot of that right now, and we do have to be careful. You know, it's really careful. My husband is one of the high risk categories. He has a heart condition. So I have to be extra careful that I'm not picking anything up. And yet there is a real and practical need for people to get married. I went in and checked on who are the essential businesses that can still be out and provide service. And I'm not qualified, but I have to argue that point because, for instance, I'll have somebody who's trying to set up with me right now. We're going to try to do something just like that out in the park, bare minimum number of people, keeping social distance. But the bride's retiring at the end of April. They have a marriage license already, which will expire after 6 months after you've applied for it. You know, health insurance. This bride who's retiring needs health insurance. How many people are laid off? What happens when you get laid off? You don't have health insurance. Now you're on a COBRA plan and you have to pay for that, and it's more money. So there are some real practical reasons why people actually need to get married, besides just wanting a little sunshine, a ray of hope that they'll get through this together, that their bond is stronger than any COVID-19. But people need to be able to get married. So a couple concerns. Right now, most of the whole Twin Cities area government centers are shut down, so you cannot get a marriage license.
Right.
I had, when we were prepping for this meeting, you might have noticed I had to take a call. It was from somebody who's coming up from Wisconsin to Rochester, because they're going to be open through end of business tomorrow. So they're going to come up, they've got an appointment, they're going to get a marriage license, they're going to come up the rest of the way to the Twin Cities, and we're going to meet in a park, and we're going to get them married. So
make it happen.
We have
Love
to
it.
make it happen for people. So there's the romance side of it, yes, but there's also a real practical need, and we have to use our best judgment and safe practices. So I'm sorry to the people who don't agree that this is an essential need in certain cases, but it is. I also want to, while I've got the floor, go back to the non-refundable deposits thing, because that's a really hard thing.
I know.
We're in this business, all of us on this screen, I know, are in this business because we have a passion to help people. And yet we have practical needs. We're independent contractors, I think most of us, maybe not everybody, I'm sure Brenda, you're a legit employee, but most of the rest of us, we're independent. We don't have unemployment insurance. So not only do we not get to make the money that we would normally be making, as April and May weddings are this beginning of wedding season, if we had to turn around and refund those, you can call it a retainer, we would lose business. A lot of times we've taken steps already to plan your ceremony. I know with most of my ceremonies, I've already got them written because that's how I roll.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure we're set and ready to go. And
Susan, that's a really good point. I want you to continue, but going back to the non-refundable deposit, just because you have not performed the service of the wedding doesn't mean that you haven't put in hours and hours
absolutely.
and hours of work through emails and spending time on the phone with her and consultations and like you said, putting together, because with your ceremonies, each one is custom.
Yes.
I mean, you have already put a lot of work into this. And I think a lot of people don't understand how much work goes into weddings before this. And that deposit, that's why it's non-refundable. Is that a good point? Is that a good way to
100%.
That's exactly right. And everybody, a lot of times photographers have already done engagement sessions and prepped a lot of the work that goes into shooting the day. They've gone through the detailed list of what shots that couple wants. And yeah, there's a lot of work that people don't understand. Sometimes people will say to me, our weddings start at $370. I'm not paying somebody $370 for half an hour of their time. And I'm like, gee, I'm sorry you think that's that simple.
Can I share a great story? Can I share a great story? So this is a hypothetical story, and this is so great for all you independent contractors and artists. I am not an artist. I have so much respect for photographers and florists. I cannot do any of those beautiful things. There's a funny story about Vincent van Gogh sitting in a cafe, doodling on a pad of paper, and a woman comes over and says, "Oh my God, monsieur, that is the most beautiful drawing I've ever seen. Would you mind drawing me?" And he goes, why, of course, I'd be happy to draw you. Please take a seat. And so she sits down and he starts doodling and starts drawing her. And after about 20 minutes, he turns over his pad of paper and he shows her the beautiful, beautiful sketch that he has done of this woman. And the woman goes, "Oh my love, monsieur, that is the most beautiful sketch I've ever seen in my entire life. Please let me buy that from you. How much is that if I were to buy that from you?" He goes, "Well, it will be 10,000 francs. She goes, "Monsieur, that is insane. It only took you 20 minutes to draw this." And he goes, "No, madame, it took me a lifetime."
Yes.
It is not about the amount of time that you are putting in during that ceremony. It is not the amount of time, Susan, that it took you to prepare those vows. It is the years and years and years of practice and studying and time that it took you to become who you are today. So it's not about that 20-minute sketch. It's about the years that you have put into it and the ability that you have to create something so special and so magical.
Yes, and that is true for everybody. So thank you. That was actually a really beautiful compliment and a great story, but a great analogy to what we all do.
Thank you. I think it applies to a lot of people in our industry, sometimes, especially as artists and creatives, like the girl that does my hair. I mean, her and I sit and we chit chat and she's barely thinking 2 cents about it, but it's not about that. It's about the years of training that she did to be able to do that without having a second thought. I want to jump into one of my last questions for the current brides, because I think that's one of our primary demographics right now that are listening. Brides that are choosing to postpone and choosing to restructure their entire wedding because nothing is going to be the same. We can't completely recreate this perfect day 3 months later. There's going to be a lot of changes. Tell me some of the advice that you guys have for changing things up, how to still make it special, how to kind of pivot in this time.
I think Jenna and I were on a call yesterday and we got to this brainstorming point and think outside of the box. I know some of the questions I've seen are, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting married in the fall now and I was getting married in the spring and so my colors don't match." Throw in an extra accent color. Perfect, you're done. Like, perfect. Like, there are so many things that you can do to stay hopeful and guess what? You're getting freaking married. Like, that is all that matters. And so we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it beautiful. We're going to transform it into what you want. And so that's really my biggest piece of advice is stay hopeful, stay lavish about, it is such a amazing time of your life. And we sympathize with you and we're here with you. But take everything as a grain of salt. If you've moved your date already and we're now into the planning stages, get excited again. I can tell that a lot of brides are a little bit hesitant now. Like, what if we have to switch this again? Forget the what ifs for a minute and get back to the excitement of wedding planning. We will deal with plan C if it comes along, just as we did with plan B. But for the time being, enjoy being engaged. Plan your wedding, continue with things. Hesitation is smart, but don't lose sight of your love story. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good, Ari. Thank you.
And I'd like to jump in too and just say it's okay to grieve a little first, right? Like, it's okay to grieve the wedding you were going to have. That's okay. And then after you've done that, hop back on Pinterest or start looking up the next season of weddings. Find something about it that you love and that can make you excited again. Do that, and then the rest of it is going to fall into place. The other thing is, after every wedding, I talk to my brides and I go, okay, so what did you think? How did it go? Every single one of them has at least one thing that they're like, I'd probably do this different if I ever got to do it again. And at the stage of wedding planning that you're already in, you probably already know that thing that you would do differently. And so I would say do it. You get that chance. Not everybody gets that chance to do it differently before it happens, right? So that's two things. The other thing about this is that when this is all over, when COVID-19 is over, right? The world is going to want to celebrate in general. The world is going to want to celebrate. And all the people in your life are going to be so excited to celebrate with you. It's going to be an even better party, an even better experience for everybody because they're going to appreciate it so much more now, knowing that they didn't get to have it. And I can almost guarantee that RSVPs percentages are going to increase for the rest of the year. So however many people you had invited, and if you want to invite them again, right? Invite that same number again.
Yes.
But I bet you're going to have a higher percentage that say yes. So prepare with that in the budget. And then those people that you didn't really want to invite, all this type of stuff gives you perspective, right? So the people that you didn't want to invite, don't invite them. Invite the people that you really want to be there and that are going to celebrate this with you, no matter what the date is.
Isn't it funny how this whole thing is kind of making us focus on what's really important and who is really important? I just noticed all my stuff in the background is going off. That's okay. Don't you guys worry about me. If it's okay with you guys, I think that we have some great momentum right now, and I would love to rally again in a couple days. I know we had some technical difficulties getting this Zoom call. I wanted to do it live because we wanted to have questions coming in from brides. We really wanted to make this interactive. We have some great ideas and options for future brides, for brides that are getting married in summer and fall, and even 2021 brides, because you guys will be affected by this with all the reschedules and all the events that are closing and postponing. Can you guys share some final thoughts? I want to keep this at a nice, even time. And if it's okay with you guys, can we agree to do this again, maybe in another day or two, where we can try to do this live and do maybe like a part 2? Does that sound good?
Yes.
Can you guys share? I'm going to stay focused on current brides right now that are struggling with, weddings in the next week, weddings in the next month. What is kind of your closing thoughts, your best pieces of advice for brides right now?
I think for me, I would say, take a deep breath and keep it in perspective. I get that this is the biggest day of your life so far. And it's beyond important. But what's really important is your health and the health of your family.
Mhm.
And you're making a sacrifice, not only for the health of you and your family, but for the world. In Minnesota, we need to all pull together and do everything that we can to stay safe
Mhm.
and stay sane. You probably all noticed we have a little bit of wine that we're drinking.
For all of you watching, can we just all do a group cheers right now? Because it's, I mean, what are we calling quarantinis? Is that what someone
Quarantinis,
named it?
yes. So,
Okay, I know. I'm not trying to be insensitive. We're just
no,
trying to be
not
lighthearted.
at all. You know, everybody's going to deal with these things in their own fashion. So, you know, you make your plans, make your adjustments, do what's practical, but keep your eye on the bigger end game, that you will get married eventually, and you will enjoy your celebration, whether it's scaled back to immediate family or whether it's postponed a year or more out. You're still going to get there.
Mhm.
And we're all here to help you get there. We're doing everything we can to shift and accommodate
Mhm.
all the rescheduling. For us, as the way I created my company was to have a whole team, because I don't ever want to leave anybody standing at the altar. And so far, knock on wood and thank the Lord, we have never had to leave anyone standing at the altar. But it's because I'm careful with our schedule. I have a team not only of my active officiants online, but backup people that used to officiate for me and for one reason or another had to
The what door?
stop. So anyway,
I
we've
tightened
got
it.
covered, and I know the other people do too.
We're getting somebody
That's
in here.
weird.
I'm not sure who it is. Do you guys hear that, or is that just me?
Yes.
Oh, no, we
Okay.
can definitely do.
Really quick, Susan,
Nope.
before we
That's-
go into closing thoughts from everyone, Susan, can I bounce back to you? I have a question. I don't know if this is a stupid question.
There are no stupid questions.
Can you officiate online? Could we do a Zoom wedding? Is that legal in the state of Minnesota?
No, but
Oh, can you guys
That's-
imagine how much fun that would be?
I know. Okay, so the way the laws are written, no, you can't do that. But the laws were written before the current technology.
Mm-hmm.
So just like all things, as we evolve as a society, we need to evolve into this too.
Could we do the first Zoom wedding?
I want to be. I've already got a plan in place for exactly how I can do it and document that it happened, that I witnessed it, and boom. So I'm ready.
Susan,
and
I got the technology, even though my lights turned off behind me.
I'm going to,
Charlie, I lost my light.
Into who I talk to. Who do I need to talk to get an amendment written in or a special dispensation to be able to do remote weddings through something like this?
I love it. Keep me in a loop on that, promise?
I will.
Okay, thank you.
Live streaming is also a thing where, 10 people or less, great. 3 people is all that need to be in that room. Oh, you need your witnesses too. So 5 people is all that needs to be in that room, and we can live stream the rest of it. Nano weddings are becoming a thing. Think outside of the box. Get excited. Look, we have vendors that are telling you that they're expanding their businesses to new crazy things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. If we did go down to something like New York has, which is, shelter in place, I would not be able to go into somebody else, or even meet outside. It's just not done. So, but with live streaming, that's my exact point, Aria. I can see you guys here right now. You could hold up your ID so that I could verify your identification. I can witness you as you sign the paper, and then you mail it to me, and I do the rest. I don't see why that wouldn't qualify, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
That's my argument.
No, that's really cool. Hey,
so
Brenda, tell me what are your closing thoughts as a venue, because you're kind of on hold right now. Brenda, give me some insight or some of your advice for couples right now.
Well, and it basically, just take a deep breath, and now hopefully you have something that you can look forward to when we're all through this. I have one couple that they are postponing. They had this massive spring themed wedding planned for April 4th. And a week and a half ago, we had to have the hard conversation amidst the bride getting, having her commencement canceled for college and everything, classes, losing out on all this stuff. you know, she's going to have a fabulous wedding to look forward to next year. So, you know, we were, you know, just kind of take a breath and, you know, look forward to what you have to look forward to, which is still getting married and having a wonderful wedding of your dreams. It just might be a different date. There might be some things that change, but, you know, you're going to come through this is the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be all the more grateful that you made it through.
Absolutely.
No. Michelle, tell me some of the advice that you have for couples, or any options that you have of doing a six foot distance from are you doing any park weddings in the next couple days?
Oh, I don't know about the park weddings. Although, I mean, just a fun little fact about me is that I eloped back and married my Marine. We've been married 30 some years. And we did a wedding celebration later. And we came home to Minnesota. And I can just tell you that, I mean, so you might be looking at your date and what you thought you were having planned, but I'm telling you that when this is over and you can go have family all come together and that sort of thing, it's going to be worth it. And people are going to come in and they're going to want to celebrate with you. We have an army of wonderful event professionals that they're getting ready right now we're putting backups in place. Our competitions, we're all helping each other right now in the background here. So just let me assure you that is with Twin Cities Wedding and Event Professionals. I mean, we are coming together, competitions are coming together, we're brainstorming, we're putting backup pieces into place, and we're wanting to let you guys know that postponing is possible if that's what you want to do, and that you can seek that out, because there's a lot of vendors that want to make that happen. I would just encourage you, talk to your vendors. Most of them are so well vested and wanting to make your day as best as it can possibly be. They will connect and they'll reach out to their resources, and we're going to be there for you.
Yes, absolutely. Jenna, take us home, girl. Give us some good news. Give us some hopeful things.
Yes. Well, one thing I do want to address that I think is a question. I'm getting questions on my Facebook page right now, and so I want to bring this up.
Yeah.
Is people are asking, when do we know if it's the right time to postpone? And there's not a great answer. But right now, what I'm telling my brides, right, is to wait until you're 30 days out. Mm-hmm. If you're 30 days out, we still have time to do things. Every vendor is prepared for this, you know, so don't feel like I'm getting questions from June and July brides. Like, do I postpone now? Our date's going to be gone. Like, what do I do? And I want everybody to take a deep breath. And we know right now in Minnesota, we can't do anything until May 1st. That's all we know right now. Mm-hmm. So hold on, wait until you're 30 days out from your date, and then make a decision. Mm-hmm. If you're a Uber planner and it's cutting too close, wait 45, right? Mm-hmm. That's okay too. But everybody, I guess it's kind of the resounding message here. Take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm. One day at a time, girls. One day at a time.
Yeah. And Jenna, I just want to add to that people need to do what's right for them.
Yes.
I had May 9th bride, a June 15th bride, May 15th bride. They're both already rescheduled. I have a May bride who's now she's in May 2021. It just made them feel more comfortable to make the move now. And that's perfectly fine as well. Everybody has to make a decision for what is going to be the best decision for them in their circumstances in their, but right. You don't have to panic and jump the gun, I think is your message.
Correct. Yes.
100%.
I think everybody's kind of looking for a guideline on that. And that is just 100% my opinion. I do not have insider information into the governor's office or anything, I promise. Wish I did, but I don't. Yeah. So that's just my opinion on that. And what I am telling my own personal clients to do. So that's where I'll leave it with that.
Yes.
No, you guys, this has been absolutely wonderful. What I want to do is I would love to connect with this exact same group. Maybe tomorrow or in a couple days, we'll post on all of our social media platforms. We will be reposting this. This was supposed to be live, so we'll be reposting this in a couple minutes. But you guys, this has been absolutely wonderful. I will make sure that we link all of the businesses. We want to make sure that you guys know that we are here for you and we want to be a resource, and you can message us, you can email us, you can text message us. I mean, I'm even going to put my cell phone number up on here because I happen to be friends with all these wonderful people. So if I don't have the answer for you, I will connect you with one of them. We will put contact info, and also follow us on social media as things progress in the next couple days. We're going to be learning something new every day. That's how it's been. And we're going to be here for you every step of the way. Please know that. You guys, are there any last comments before we sign off and we try to do this again in a couple days?
I think we covered it.
Yeah,
We're
hang in
good?
there. Yeah. We're
Thank
good.
you, everybody
yeah.
who chimed in, who came, for being patient as we fixed the Facebook Live frustration. I'm excited to keep this conversation rolling. We did have a blog page that is a landing page that we'll post this video on, and then any future part 2 or part 3, wherever we go with this, things are changing by the minute, and we are all new to this. You are new to this, and just be patient. Reach out however we can help.
And again, we're going to celebrate so big. We're going to celebrate so big when this is all over, because girls, we will get through this. We will get through this. We will get through it together. We will get through it with a little bit of wine and a little bit of sense of humor, and through online communities that don't always work when you want them to. You guys, I love you so much. I'm so grateful that you guys are in my world and my community, and that people are coming together even though we're being forced to be apart. I'm not going to do the long Minnesota goodbye, so I'm going to sign off, and we will touch base in a couple days.
Cheers.
All right. Bye, you guys. Thank you.
Bye.